Welcome to Digital Chowder Blog, where you'll find essential digital resources for the home business. I'm Wayne, and today I'm talking about streamlining data storage for small businesses. For a small business, which is often comprised of a solopreneur who does everything, staying on top of crucial business data can be challenging, mainly when so many other tasks press for our attention. And ironically, we may fail to properly organize or secure our data due to time limitations, only to give up any time savings trying to locate the data in our disorganized system. So we'll start by discussing the selection of a cloud storage provider, including the recommendation of the provider that I use. Then we'll talk about best practices for organizing and securing our data. This will include the recommendation of another tool that I use for managing my security information. And then finally, we'll talk about monitoring and maintaining our data storage system. So let's get started. The first step in streamlining your data storage is choosing the right cloud storage provider. When selecting a provider, there are several factors to consider, such as features offered, the syncing method between cloud storage and computer, security measures taken by the provider, the reliability record of the provider, and, of course, the cost. You'll want to look for providers that offer features such as automatic backups, file sharing tools, encryption services, multi-factor authentication measures. Together, these will ensure that you get good value for your money. Now, I said that I had a storage recommendation, and it is iDrive Cloud Storage. iDrive meets the criteria that we've mentioned, and with it, you can back up multiple devices, including PCs, Macs, iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, all into a single account. You'll also get a real-time sync feature that ensures that files and folders that are synced across all your linked devices are instantly updated. And this Cloud Drive real-time storage feature does not affect your backup storage limit. So you have a seamless integration of all your backups. With iDrive, there's a snapshots feature that provides a historical view of data from point in time recovery, plus it helps protect against ransomware. So let me show you how it works. So here we are at the iDrive website, and this is the cloud storage that I have switched over to from Google. Talk more about that switchover, but just on the home page you get an overview. And you have some pricing here, but let's go on to the pricing page because it will give us a little bit more detail. So we go on to the pricing page, and we have a free plan which allows 10 gigabyte. This is a good place to start to try it out, see if it's going to do what you want it to. And then you have the mini drive, iDrive, which gives you 100 gigabytes for $2.95 a year. 100 is not quite enough for me, but you can move on to the 500 gigabytes for $9.95 a year, and that's where I went. Don't need at this point 5 terabytes, which would be the next step up. I don't have that much media files, but should I need to grow into that, $79.50, which is the regular price per year, is not a bad price. All right, look at the features, and here you can see it covers multiple device backups, which includes your PC, Mac, iPhone, iPad, and Android devices. There are desktop apps and mobile apps for each of these devices. You have Cloud Drive, which is your real-time syncing, so that anything that's in your Cloud Drive will automatically sync in real time. So I can go from computer to computer, device to device, and everything is always up to date. The iDrive Express is should you want retrieval of all your data on a disk, they will send it to you, ship it to you in less than a week, as it says. Snapshot and versioning, which gives you a point in time recovery. You can select when when that point in time is that you want to restore from. You have your apps to manage your computers, and then your clone computer backup, which I'll talk more about. And this is a big factor for me. All right, so let's go on to the desktop, to the app that is installed. And first of all, here in the on the dashboard, we have the app here, which I'll right click on. You just see the menu that we get. I can start the iDrive on the computer, which is my desktop app. I can check my status, which gives you this little window down here, which in this case tells me all files are up to date. It shows me I'm using 5% of my total 500 gigabytes, and so this is good to have handy. Also, I want to just go on then to the desktop app, and here is where it opens up to. It's to your backup. When you first install the app and open it, it will automatically scan all your files in these folders here and start backing those up for you. You can go into them. I can go into documents, and I can go down through here, and I can select anything that might not already be selected, or I can select everything. Okay. Then of course you have your restore, and here you can go into it and do a file by file restore if you want to. Scheduler, you can schedule multiple times a week, or however you want to set your schedule. The cloud drive, again, I've mentioned this is a biggie for me. I can open my cloud drive. This is just really a folder on my computer, and I move all these folders, subfolders, into that folder that I want to sync in real time. So everything in here, I work directly out of it for most of what I do, and it automatically syncs, and then I can go to another computer, go to my cloud drive, and everything just pick up where I left off. It's up to date. This may not be a big feature for you, but it will do SQL Server, which is a database server, Exchange server. It'll back up these various servers, some VMware, which is your virtual machines, and so forth. And then you get down to your clone and computer backup, which was another game changer for me. You know, our computers come these days with a drive that is a clone of your operating system from the factory, and it will restore if you have a crash. But if your hard drive crashes, it's gone. So it gets more complicated. But here you have a clone of your drive, and you can get right back into business in pretty quick order. Now, just to give you an idea, I mentioned I switched over from Google. I've been on Google Drive for years. I like it, really. It's very handy. I like the syncing, real-time syncing. I like the sharing advantages, and I continue to keep, since you know you can keep storage with Google Drive for free, just for the sharing benefit. But I was getting, for one thing, it jumped from 100 gigabytes up to 2 terabytes without options in between, which took me way more than I really needed. It was costing me close to $100 a year for 2 terabytes, whereas I'm getting I could get 5 terabytes for less than that, but I don't need 5 terabytes. I need only 500 gigabytes at this point, and at only $9.95 a year. So price was a big factor, and the cloning is another big factor, which Google does not cover. Cloning the computer. Now sharing is a little bit different game, and that's again why I keep Google Drive. But sharing is more secure with iDrive, in that if you share with someone else, even with yourself from computer to computer, it requires a temporary code that you give to the person, and they use that. They have a limited amount of time to use that code to download whatever you're sharing with them. So that's kind of the overview of iDrive. Now you may want to check out other cloud storage solutions, so go to my blog, 5 Recommended Cloud Storage Services for Small Businesses. You'll see the link on your screen and in the description below. And then you can make some comparisons. Once you've chosen the cloud storage provider, following best practices for organizing your data is essential. This will help ensure that all your files are easy to find when needed. Start by using a consistent naming convention for files and folders to be easily located in different parts of your system. Then create clear folder structures with categories or projects, tags and labels, and then regularly clean up excess or outdated files. These simple steps will help keep your files organized and secure in the long run. Now I'm going to show you here a data organization system that's recommended by the University of Bath. Okay, so we're going to look at how to organize our data. And the main thing is to find a way that makes sense to how you work and how you think. And so the goal, of course, is to be able to find your data later, quickly and efficiently. So however you do it, you're going to be using a system of folders and subfolders. And there's 2 or 3 things you want to keep in mind. One is you want to name your folders and your files in a way that makes sense to you. You want to be able to recognize what it's getting at, not have to think, what in the world is that about? Also to keep in mind is you don't want too many numbers, groups in one place. So for instance, in this Cloud Drive folder that I'm in, I don't want to just throw a bunch of files in there so that I have hundreds of files. So I have grouped them into subfolders. And here is a pretty good number, but not too many. I can glance through that pretty quickly. So I'm keeping my numbers, both of folders and of files, at a manageable number. Then I'm going to go into maritime provinces. These are photos. There would be hundreds of photos here, by the way, of this trip. So I've broken it down into further subcategories. If I threw them all into this one folder, maritime provinces, I would have a hard time finding the photo I'm looking for. I'd have to sort through and through and through hundreds of photos. But instead, I have them broken down into locations. So Funday National Park, for instance, now look at the number of photos. It's a manageable number of photos. Northern Coastal Drive, all right. All of them at a manageable number of files within folders. All right. Now, however you do it, whether it's similar to this way or not, you still are working with folders and subfolders as well as files. And so it's finding the best way so that you can quickly go back. If necessary, make a document outlining your system that you can refer to. And there you have a system of organizing your data. Okay, and then in addition to organization tips, here are some key considerations regarding the security of your stored data. You'll want to implement strong passwords in all your accounts. That's kind of a given, isn't it? Use multi-factor authentication methods, also pretty much a given these days. Limit access to sensitive materials. Monitor your system performance regularly. Back up files regularly. And then if there's any suspicious activity, investigate it immediately. By taking proactive steps like these, you can protect your stored information, you can minimize the risk of unauthorized access or damaging breaches, and you can keep yourself safe down the line. Now let me ask you, do you have a secure but convenient tool for managing your security credentials? I could not function without one, but I encounter so many whose system is to simply use the same password all the time for everything, or they keep them in a text document on their computer or whatever. And if I work closely with others on a project, I find myself becoming the keeper of secure credentials because I'm the only one with a management tool. So let me recommend my tool to you. It is Keeper Security, and it can be used from all of your devices. It has a desktop and mobile app that you can use to access your passwords. And even if you're using an unfamiliar computer or device, you can easily open the browser and access your passwords. So here's a demonstration of Keeper Security. All right, so here we are at the Keeper website, and you can get an overview if you go down through here of their various products, but primarily we're looking at their password management for personal and for business. And to go to pricing, if we look at business and enterprise, we see that they have a business starter, $2 a month. The business then, which is $3.75 a month per user, and then the enterprise, you asked for request a quote for that. If we go to the personal and family, this is in the way. If we go to personal and family, personal is $2.95 a month or $6.25 a month, which would include your entire family. That gives up to 5 individuals. So there are apps for any of your devices, computers, phones, tablets, etc. It's great for, I think, on the mobile. I always hate to deal with password stuff on my mobile, but this will do it for you pretty automatically. But also there is an app for the computer desktop, but the main thing I use is the Chrome extension. There's also a Edge extension, but let's take a look at the extension. So here we have to log in to get access, so it's not just out there. But we can do a search, and this is how I use it so much. I do a lot of web work, design work, and so forth, and so we can do a search. We just did iDrive. Here's my iDrive storage, and I can click there. It'll take me to the website, and I can sign in, and it will have the I can see it already automatically entered this stuff for me, but if I don't have it set up to do it automatically, I can always click on the icon here and have it do it for me. But you have the option when you set up a new website, a new login, to have it do it automatically like this. So very handy this way. Let's go to the Vault, which we have here. In the Vault, it lists all of the passwords that I have, and I can go into each of those and make edits and so forth. It also has information for your credit cards as well, so handy, and it will give you security alerts. It will check to be sure if you've got secure passwords and all, and give you a report on those. Breach Watch, it'll let you know if there's any breach in the system. So all in all, I find I really can't hardly live without it. And one other thing I would mention is that it will create passwords for you. So when I set up a new site, I have it create the password, and it will also, when I create a new record, I can select whether it's a login record, a payment card, a contact record, an address, bank account, driver's license, birth certificate, all of this stuff that it will store for you. And that's our overview for Keeper. Then finally, you'll want to monitor and maintain your system regularly, which will be crucial for successfully streamlining your data storage solution. So check consistently for updates and patches for the system that you're using. Monitor your system performance often. Back up your files frequently. And delete unnecessary or outdated materials promptly. Get all that extra rubbish out of there. All these actions will ensure that everything runs smoothly with little interruption from technical issues. So if you've been putting off taking steps to upgrade and organize your data storage, it's time to bite the bullet and take action. Yes, it will take some time to make it happen, but it will be time that's well spent and time that you'll get back once you have your system in place due to the greater ease and organization of your system.